Hello, the channel. Welcome back. Hope everyone's well. Looking forward to European season coming back. It's nice to get a bit of excitement seeing these Champions League qualifiers, games, and everything ongoing. Brilliant. Can't wait, really. A week on Saturday, Celtic are back. So that's the real quiz, everybody knows. Unless you're a Rangers fan, obviously. There we go. So what's happening? We're going to do the lineup builder here. We update on what's happening generally as well. So first and foremost, this game week might sneak a reward here. This has been a pretty good lineup that's soon to be wrecked by Nashville probably. But yeah, what about Messi? Unbelievable. The guy's just unbelievable. He's going to tear up the MLS. There's no doubt about it. Fenerbahce game just got announced about an hour before the lock, so managed to get the guys in. Didn't manage to get the guys in from Zagreb, but Fenerbahce scored pretty well. We'll see what happens with Nashville. We will see what happens with Nashville. Nothing much else going on out with that, except looks like we're hitting the old threshold in Cap 240 rare, and some other bits and pieces ongoing as well. Other news in terms of the gallery, so see everybody's doing gallery updates and everything as well. I think that's something I will do. To be honest, at the moment, the only issue is we don't really have all the information in this fitness bonus, etc. So I kind of like to see how that works out, but we'll have some news on that soon. So yeah, big addition here added in Dusan Tadic. I think Kempen said it was a FOMO buy, but if it was, I think it's been a good FOMO buy. Yeah, what you look at the prices here, so yeah, one went for 1,000. Jeez, didn't actually see that. That's mad. So yeah, I think I just get in on time here. To be honest, I think I just get in on time. Obviously, these are soft games for Fenerbahce just now, but it does look as if he's on sets, etc. And who else are you going to buy just now? If you're going to buy guys, like obviously there's a lot of risks and moves to Saudi Arabia, etc. as well. So the good thing with Tadic, 2-year deal, starting to smash in the scores already. Brilliant. Can't believe it, actually, that the other ones have gone for that, but that's great to see. Picked up an our guy who's been on my radar as well, this young guy, Andre Gomez. I thought it was just a time to pick up the rookie card, so a couple of reasons. Really highly rated at Benfica. I think the card looks class as well. Big investment, obviously, for spending on somebody that's not likely to play soon, but also gets the old Benfica collection up another percent as well, so that helps the Gonzalo Ramos I've got, and picked up Tengsted recently as well. He's a guy I've been trying to sort of pick up for a wee while. He said he was brilliant at Rosenborg, and there's a lot of talk of Gonzalo Ramos taking the big move, so if he does, I hope Tengsted gets a chance, and 0.135 ETH will look a pretty ridiculous price there. As I said earlier, Celtic are back next week, and there's been some movement there. So Celtic have signed their centre half. No other major moves in. Signed the Korean lads and things. So going to do a full update on that next week, and maybe get some potential lineups in for the weekend as well. Final thing, just as a reminder, to the giveaway is running in August. So this weekend we'll pick the first winner. Next game week in midweek is looking a wee bit quiet. It's kind of similar to this midweek. So what I might do is just kind of double that up and give the first winner the midweek and the weekend. And obviously once we get to the weekend, we pick the next winner. Get winger in the brain. Pick the next winner, then we'll decide whether it's just the midweek or midweek and the weekend, etc. as well. But yeah, if I've not mentioned it, Celtic are back next weekend. Anyway, onto the lineups. I haven't really picked any as yet, to be honest. Been pretty sort of busy this week, so I'm going to go in the under 23 Rare Pro first. Usually I've got these selections up already, but we'll pick this and then we'll have a wee look at some of the limited stuff. So first thing to point out is quite a difficult game week. This obviously usually have like Asia running and things, and different sort of goalkeepers in MLS and all that type of stuff. But I only really have one viable option here. I've done an interesting thing, whether it's right or wrong, and I'm actually dropping a under 23 rare team this weekend. Didn't really look that strong, and Lawal was a guy I picked up for 80 and 90 pounds quid fiat when the fiat wallet comes, and I managed to get a rare sold for just over 500. So I've cashed in one, and I thought it was a good idea because it might be a wee bit peaky just now. Who knows? It might still go up, but I've got an R1, so only one realistic selection because I think Mantle might be a bit behind in the Salzburg Stakes at the moment. Alan Montez, a guy I've just picked up. Fedo gave me a shout on him. Really, he wanted me to outbid him on the auction to unlock his F, and then nobody else outbid me. But look at that average. He's actually, I think, he's suspended for this weekend. Kamil Piatkowski, news today saying that he doesn't really want to sit the bench at Salzburg, so the chance of him going back to Ghent, not Genk, it's a Genk and a Ghent. Gaston Avilla is suspended, he gets sent off in the cup, and then we've got a load of kind of average-ish options here. Calafiori is an interesting one actually for Basel. He's been playing, he's putting in a really good score in the Cap 240 team tonight, but I think I'll use this position for Valentin Gomez in terms of super rare. If anyone hasn't looked at this guy, I'd recommend you do. One of the best young defenders in Argentina, in my opinion. So there we go, and his scores are now falling on that as well. In terms of midfield, Riku Puig's been an absolute hero, to be honest, over the summer. We've still got some nice options here. Christian Medina has also been playing really well, to be honest. And Alan Varela's shown there. Hasn't completed the move to Roma. Porto. Jeez, I've not been drinking tonight, guys. I've not been drinking, I promise. Just talking rubbish. Puig, they need to win that game as well. So I'm gonna go for him again. He played against Lyon and put in a reasonable score actually, considering they beat 1-0, no decisives, all that type of stuff. Then we're into the forward line, and again, this isn't really, it's not really the usual options that I've got. Obviously, very fortunate still to have lots of options here, but not maybe the usual quality. Koita, I think, is injured. Brian Aguirre is a good call, I think, for this weekend. I might actually go with Neni Dargeles because Koita is looking likely to miss it. Oh, hang on. What's going on? Bloody screen's getting overtaken by McAfee. Good job it's not my internet history. Don't tell the wife. Baluisha, I think, don't think he's playing this weekend. I think he might be suspended or something as well. And obviously he can't play the super rare here. So I'm going to go with Neni Dargeles. That's a guy I really like. And yeah, I think he'll do well. I think this might be a season people pay a bit more attention to him after he's been out on loan. Into the last position, and I think standout here is probably Facundo Torres. Facundo, I think, is a really good selection here. If you just have a look at the Play Sharper predictions, 90% to play. Also, Santos Laguna have been pretty poor. It's really good. Play Sharper, look at all this information you get. You get the odds, you get the XG, expected clean sheets and everything. And remember, Play Sharper is completely free, so they do have an app and they do have the web page, and I think it's a really good idea to use that if you don't already. So some other options here, but I think based on averages and also based on fixture, Facundo's a really good selection, and let's me captain him as well. So that looks like the under 23 Rare Pro selection. We'll go on to the limited in a minute. I think I want to have a wee look at the All-Star Rare Pro and just sort of see what's available. I always do these lineups before I do the limited anyway, because it gives me an idea who's available and who's got good fixtures, etc. So we've got Gymnasia against Platense. We have Mantle again. We have Ramiro Macagno, obviously, as Platense goalie. Rafael home against Bahia. I'd imagine that's quite a strong fixture. Rodrigo Rey, excellent goalkeeper against Boca. Boca are obviously more of a sort of mid-table team this season, but hopefully they'll be moving up a bit. Abdul Nuruddin looks as if he might get the nod for Yupin. We've got Safanov, who actually started the first game for Krasnodar. So some good options in terms of the goalkeeper side of things. Think out these options probably between Rodrigo Ray and Raphael. Provisionally put in Rodrigo Ray here. That's nobody really standing out as a strong defensive type stack here. Meluso looks as if he's either going to Cyprus or going to Ecuador. So that's a knife edge, like uncovered or Ecuador. That's the way the song goes, isn't it? Maybe not in a Scottish accent like that, but there we go. Could also go for Safonov and Junior Alonso as a defensive stack there. You've seen the All-Star, a lot more options. Actually, let's have a wee look and see what Sorare data suggests here, because I always find that interesting. Suggesting it based on fixture quality and all that type of stuff. So they've suggested Raphael, Junior Alonso, Zakarian, Morales and Felipe. So that is interesting. I think here I can't really see past Douglas Santos generally here, They just got to get him in. The guy's just insane. I wonder why he's not suggested there actually. Maybe something to do with him being in Russia, etc. Get to this stage, I think I'm going to try and filter down to the super rares here to see who's available, because obviously it's the pro, right? So we want to get super rares in. So got Rostovsky, got Felipe. That's interesting. We've got Eduardo Sasha, who's been excellent this season. Junior Alonso, Pavon, Medina. Look at Iter, puts in some good scores. Milton Valenzuela has been pretty solid recently as well. Johnny Russell. Joris Kayembe started pretty well for Genk as well, so that's a nice option to have. Wineni Dargeles. So loads of options. Obviously some of these I'll need to use at super rare level as well, which is quite interesting. I don't know what the rotation is going to be like at Dynamo, but I feel like I should use Rostovsky. Just always seems to play. Always seems to play either at centre half or right back, and look at the average. It's just been excellent. Up front, I'm inclined to use Felipe, but we do have some other good options here as well. So we've got our main man, Theo, who we suggested, and he's playing against a team that sounds like ball tickling. So we've got Spartak Moscow against ball ticklers Kaliningrad. It really does sound like ball ticklers, doesn't it? Anyway, that's just my weird sense of humour. So back to the super rares. Alan Varela probably won't play. Canales was an interesting one. He's off skate to Mexico. I don't know how much he's going to play. Utkin, I think he'll have a better season, playing against Zenit. So I don't know what I'm going to do in here actually. This is an interesting one. I think Joel Sagar is on the bench tonight actually. Anto Grgic played at centre half, I think, for Lugano in the last game. I think I'll play Evgen in here actually. He came on the last game and he was brilliant. So obviously Brøndby at home suggests he's going to play, and then there's only one man to captain, it's Douglas Santos. The guy is a maniac, a machine. Brilliant. So let's move back to the limited sphere now as well. Under 23s, taking a bit more time tonight, but obviously excitement with Europe coming back and a bit more time going through things. So again, you'll see I'm a fan of Nico Mantle. Quite a few options. Did actually manage to get a couple of Lawal away. But I've kept one, obviously, with fixtures this weekend. It looks like Jonas Urbig is going to be playing for Gruffer as well. Again, I think we're going with Lawal just in terms of most likely to play in home game as well, obviously. In terms of defenders, yeah, there's nothing really sticking out here. I'm going to have a look for inspiration at the lineup. Prediction stuff as well. It's looking at, it's an exciting weekend, but it's looking a bit tough as well. It's going Wygand and with captain as well, so that's quite interesting. Medina, Scott Wilson, Brian McMeary. So yeah, I don't mind the Wigan selection. I guess obviously Walker have been a bit more solid recently as well. I think midfield spot I'm going to go with my gut and go with Evgen again. Just think he'll start in this home game, and he played really well when he came on the last time. Up front, Skov Olsen. So he's starting tonight for Club Brugge. Obviously, it could be a wee bit of rotation there, so that's interesting. But Mechelen are a bit leaky at the back as well, so I think that's a nice selection. And then we have one more spot. Quite looks as if he's injured. Hugo CK, I'm not sure if he's still. Did he go back to Cercle Bruges? I thought he was only on loan there. It's interesting. Brian Aguirre. So I think I'll probably just go with the sort of the suggestions here. I mean, that's obviously based on fixture strength and stuff. Mainly there or thereabouts. I think Skov Olsen's got the best fixture as well. Mechelen, that's pretty good. Do the cap 240 and then we'll have a wee look and see what the All Stars looking like as well before I fill out the rest of my lineups tonight. So cap 240 again. Let's double check what the selection or proposed selection is here, because it's always quite interesting to see what the computer says. Well, can you use Lawal? It's already used them. We'll need to find somebody else. Nico Mantle, no use, might be on the bench. Your big's an interesting one there actually, because he's got quite a low cap cost, which is good. Gabran Lejude against Orlando, he'll definitely be busy. I don't think I've got anybody who's on a zero cost that I think is going to play. Let's have a look anyway and see. I've got a few goalkeepers that I sit on for the future. I know I'm a madman, but there's an element of strategy in this. Lucas Gutelbauer, I was hoping he was going to play, but I think they're saying maybe Bonham's going to play. He'll need to wait for his chance, maybe play cup games. So there's nobody really in there. I think it's going to play with no cap costs. So maybe between your big and Lejude, I'll go for Lejude. He seems to have been my cap goalkeeper, and actually he served me pretty well, to be honest. He's repaid himself anyway. That's for sure. In terms of defensive options, Donovan Pines is playing really well just now. He's been sneaky good. Well, he's a good player anyway, but he's been really good defensive wise. So obviously we've got a reasonable choice here. Ferro is an interesting one. Getting 50 average, but he's a guy who was smashing in unbelievable scores in Croatia. So I'd imagine he's a pretty good shout to outstrip that cost. Brian Lozano against Toronto, who are rotten, but I'm not sure if he never started the last game, so it's a bit of a risk. Hans Vanaken, see if we can get the king in. See if we can get him in. He's starting tonight for Club Brugge as well, but it's first game of the season, and hopefully there'll not be too much in terms of mucking about. Remaining cap cost, we're into forward here. Remaining cap cost 46. Coit is not in. Aliseda started on the bench. We could get a Bongonda in against Ball Ticklers. Come on, the Ball Ticklers! Score a hat trick, you can tickle my balls. Right, and then we've got our remaining cost of 44. See who's available. Malinas I like. He's been playing a lot of games, and actually, although I like him, San Lorenzo have been keeping lots and lots of clean sheets. Lots of them. Hang on, why is it coming up again? It's just a system glitching. Oh my god. Via Armstead, Benedetto, Marco Bulat. Marco Bulat's been playing actually. He's been pretty solid for Zagreb. I just don't know if they're going to rotate a bit. Maybe not actually, because they that was a smash up job, so they might actually go pretty strong and then rotate. So I'll probably go with Bulat in here. That's a nice team actually. Ferro at home. Also Rijeka are pretty good. The Lord Hans and Theo going to get his balls tickled. Hat trick, please, Theo. And we'll pick one more. We'll pick the All-Star Limited. I think it's nice open selection. A little messy this weekend, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. Suggest a lineup. Come on, Sorare Data. Suggest one. Is that the best you've got? Jeez, oh! Is that the best? Right. That's actually a more difficult weekend than I thought. It's an exciting weekend, seeing like Austria and everything back, but it's a bit more difficult. I've usually got more goalkeepers in this. Okay, I can see why they're suggesting. So we could go for Kastenmeier against Hertha Berlin. Would probably score a few goals though. He's got a nice high average. Nevestic thinks going to play when Livakovic goes, but he's not away yet. Then I've got Jurbeck. Damn, man. Okay, not got much choice left. Well, we'll do have choice left, but not, you know what I mean. Defensive wise, I would go for Giannetti here actually. Big man's good. Vela's have been really good since playing the three at the back as well, been pretty tight. Ivanisevic at 100 midweek scored a hat-trick. Rumours are persisting of the move to Feyenoord as well. He's been excellent actually, he's such a good player. I think we'll go strong in that position, go for Ivanisevic. Let's see what the lineup prediction says on that actually. Croatia, just because if there's any sort of news that there might be, well, there's no team. Okay, well, I'm going to go with him just now, but I'd recommend if you're picking somebody like that, obviously double check, play sharper. There will be an update on tomorrow. Michael Mila usually bang on the money with stuff like that. Up front, Bongonda again. More ball tickling. Come on, Theo. And then final selection, Paulo Diaz, interesting. Well, Racing are a pretty good team actually. Rodrigo Pinheiro is a good player, guy I like. It's quite hard to get information on who's going to play for Union Espanola. I think he actually missed the last game as well, to be honest. See what other options we've got here. Nagadu, Donovan Pines, back up to the top. Press the wrong button. Compose your lineup. Not really sure here actually. João Paulo is a nice option, but Monterrey are pretty good, so they're not a bad team at all. Havon, Barco. Just lost here because there's no Celtic players to pick, so anyway, I'm going to put in Paulo Diaz, playing at home. Obviously, two defenders, but from different teams. Both guys have good, strong bases. Goalkeeper here, Vanisic's been excellent, and Theo, we're backing him to beat the ball ticklers. Come on, Theo, get them hammered. Right, I'm not going to pick any more now because that's 20 minutes of lineup building, so that should give you a bit of an idea as to what's happening. I wonder when the next stuff in the Leagues Cup and everything is. I'm going to double check that as well, because I wonder if it's one of these scenarios where teams play tonight and then guys games get added and everything. So, you know, I would just be careful on that. Obviously, Inter Miami are through, so Messi will be getting slotted in there if that is the case, but I just don't know what the schedule is there. Obviously, Nashville are still playing tonight, so there might be some of the knockout games falling into the weekend. I don't know if that's a possibility or not. I'll need to look into that, so keep an eye out for stuff like that. Obviously, it's quite difficult for Sorare because if the knockouts aren't set, then there's no games on Opta at the moment, and you don't know if guys are going to have a game and all that type of stuff, which is even more difficult, obviously, than what was happening on Tuesday with the European things as well. So that's us. We're at the end of the lineup builder, so I'll have more content to come next week. I'll have a few things hopefully will be coming out, but mainly a bit of an update in terms of what's happening at Celtic, and we'll be building up to the giveaway selections and everything as well. So the weekend we'll draw the first winner. I'll record that, run it through Twitter Picker, and we'll take it from there. Thanks very much, guys. Hope you have a good game week. If you've won any rewards this week, good luck and go fuck.